And this is a story I meant to get to last week, and I do want to get to it now. Pope Francis, he said some things that raise a lot of eyebrows. He said some things that make one chuckle, like when he was calling for fewer homosexuals in seminaries a few weeks ago because there was c'è già troppo. Basta con la being the word for it. We'll probably have to bleep this out in the show, but the nearest translation from the Italian is so you never know exactly what you're going to get in these political statements of the Pope. But he just made an important point. He was addressing the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, and he twice said that drug dealers are murderers. He said drugs trample on human dignity, that reduction in drug addiction is not achieved by liberalizing drug use, as many of the leftists and the libertarians would say. He said that that's a total fantasy. He's absolutely right. He says it's like this. You liberalize and drugs are consumed even more. That's true. He calls drug traffickers of death, driven by the logic of power and money at any cost. It's true. Trade human life for just a little bit of money, not even all that much money. And the scourge, he says, which produces violence and sows suffering and death, demands an act of courage from our society as a whole. It's very true. We all know people who've died from illegal drugs. I agree that drug dealers should be treated as akin to murderers. And tying it back to what we were just talking about, we have this idea that in the future, everything's going to be totally different. Oh, you don't understand the future. It's going to you're just fogey, fuddy-duddy conservatives. You're stuck in the past. The future's going to be totally different. Eternal truths remain, which is why conservatism, traditionalism endures, because it's not about old dusty stuff. It's about the truths that have endured. And this is true. The modern liberal people, they say, no, actually, we've just discovered that when you legalize bad things and you even incentivize bad things in some cases, you get less of it somehow through some magical economics or something. No, you don't. Those basic truths are still true. Drugs are bad. Being an addict is bad. Government exists to set the conditions for human flourishing, do good and avoid evil. It's all still true. And hearing this from the sole institution in the West to survive since antiquity and continue to thrive in modernity should make us listen. There's so much more to say. First, though, go to AmericanFinancing.net. You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem as though you are taking a step back every month instead of moving forward. When the bills are higher than what you bring in every month, you have to swipe that credit card to cover the difference. If you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break free from that cycle. American Financing is saving people just like you an average of $854 a month. It costs nothing to find out how much you can save. All it takes is a quick call to American Financing, and if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing today and start your journey toward being credit card debt-free. 800-685-5696. That's 800-685-5696, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Do not let those nasty phone calls and all that worrying about debt keep you up at night. Do something about it. Go to AmericanFinancing.net. There's a new report out of England that 94% of AI-written college exams go undetected. And I've wondered about this for a while. I don't work in the education field. I graduated college before artificial intelligence was around. But I wondered, how do professors run their classes now? It seems if I can go into AI and say, write me an epic poem in the style of Tasso with these 5 elements to it, and then also put it to music, and then also make a music video out of it, and have it star Scarlett Johansson. And I can click a button, and in about 7 minutes, I can get all of those things. Does anyone write papers anymore in school? There were AI detectors, or at least plagiarism detectors, but those don't even really work, according to this report. And furthermore, according to the report, the AI does better on college exams than the actual students do. So what does this mean for education? It means either that university education is going to become even more preposterous, that you're going to pay $60,000, $70,000 a year to go and party, and then every so often you'll have to click a button to generate some paper, and then, I don't know, probably the teacher will then plug the paper into AI and have the AI grade the paper, and everyone, just computers will do everything, and the people will just be superfluous so they can go around and, I don't know, the kids can party and the professors can go to conferences and party, and no one really does any work. Or, I have actually a more hopeful view of it. The answer, if you still want to educate students, the answer is you're going to need much more in-person learning, which runs counter to the liberal narrative. We were told, especially after COVID, all education, man, it's going to go online. What do we need university campuses for anymore? We can just do it all online. What do we need papers and pencils and physical books? And you don't need any of that stuff anymore, man. We just do it all online. What do we need our bodies for? We don't need our body. You can just plug your brain into the matrix and you can pretend to be the opposite sex or an orangutan, or I don't know. You can just everything will be virtual, right? No, because if that's the case, you won't know anything. I remember even when I was a kid, we were flattered by our teachers. They said, "You have more information at your fingertips than Plato or Aristotle did." I thought that's true, but we don't know anything. I know much less than Plato and Aristotle, even though I have a magical iPhone. Even though I have a calculator, but I still know much less than them because I don't really know it. And one of the crises of education is people don't even know how to know anymore. They don't even know how to go about asking the questions that will lead you to information that you don't even think to inquire into. So the hopeful bit to me is AI has completely destroyed whatever last remnant of a serious education existed in the modern university system. That's over. So, ironically, what we're going to need is more in person. What we're going to need is more physical presence in education. What we're going to need is more time. What we're going to need more physical books and physical pens and paper and exam rooms and timers and meeting together, and to prove that you're not just plugging stuff into AI. But two, you need that because that's how human nature works. We are bodies and souls. And so much of the last few decades has been a denial of the body, so much so now that we pretend that a man can really be a woman, that the body has nothing to do with who we are. But the body is really part of it. Time, contingency, flesh, stuff, that's part of your life. And you won't be an educated person without it. You'll say, I've got every lecture in the world is available to me on YouTube. I could be the most educated person in the world. But you won't be, because that's not how we really learn. We learn by being in physical contact with people and imitating them and picking up their impulses and asking questions off the cuff and being forced to memorize things and being forced to recite things and being forced to write them down in little blue books in exam rooms. The future, it turns out, is the past, or it's a lot closer to the past than people imagine the future to be. That was a great clip. Now, hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. See you next time.